Tonight's Sabres game is sponsored by the Buffalo Sabres Green Team.
For the Bandits games, he's done a lot of Bisons, does some Amherst games. It's been good.
Well, now, starting goaltenders brought to you by Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop's new Pumpkin Pie White Mocha and Pumpkin Pie White Hot Chocolate. Roberto Luongo, he of all kinds of controversy over the last couple of years, and I'm sure that he would wish that everybody and all that controversy would go away, will be the starting netminder for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. And Ryan Miller has been, well, Ryan Miller and Jonas Enroth have both been great so far for the Buffalo Sabres this year, and Ryan gets another start tonight. As we get ready to drop the puck at center ice with Kelly Sutherland and Don Van Mazenhoven, the referees, and Tim Nowak and Michel Cormier, the linesman. And it pops back, and Ehrhoff comes up with it and sends it off the boards as far as center. Speared back in the other direction, brought in over the Buffalo line. Here's an opportunity, and cleared in front of the net and deflected just wide. Pezic does not get it out. Back to the point, the long shot goes wide of the net. Chopped back into the corner again. And the Canucks keeping it in, clearing it in front. Shows chopped over top of the goal. Worked around into the corner of Vancouver, all over Buffalo early. Back to the point, long shot. Miller the same, the rebound. They try to jam it in the short side, and it's feathered ahead, but not out. Another shot, right on, and Miller grabs it and hangs on. Brother, not the start you would want if you're a Buffalo Sabre.
Penalty here. Cross-checking call in front of the net. They were under siege. The puck just kept coming to the net. Vancouver kept coming up with the puck, gaining control, getting to the puck, and they had people in front the whole time. Marcus Foligno's going to the box here for a cross-checking call from front.
You're not ready for this game or what?
Here's the puck beside the Buffalo net, tapped around behind it, and Ott will gun it all the way down the ice. Luongo slowing it down. Left back there for Hamhouse. He brings it away to center and drops it back in his own end. Vancouver the man advantage. Sedin, that's Henrik Sedin getting it in over the line. Dropped it back into the slot, comes back to the point, long shot right on. Miller makes the save, it's swept away but not out. Kept in by the Canucks again, shoveled in deep. Myers came back to take out his man. It's ripped off the boards but kept in by Hamhouse. Now back into the corner. Tipped around on the goals. Picked up by Henrik. Henrik Sedin leaves it there to Daniel. Daniel took a shot right beside the net. Steered beside the goal by Kessler. Tried to get it out in front. Knocked away but not out of the zone. Garrison holding it in. Vancouver buzzing around with the man advantage. Out into the slot. His shot goes high and wide. Picked up by Enrique. Got it in front. It comes back to the point. Another long shot. Deflected right on. Miller makes the save. Comes back to the point again. Canucks holding it in. Rolled around on the boards. Daniel Sedin looking to get it in down low. They try to stuff it in front, and it's grabbed and held by Miller. This broadcast brought to you in HD by the new Stereo Advantage. Visit the new Stereo Advantage located on Worley Drive behind ECC North.
Well, Vancouver had great puck control and great puck movement. They tried working it down low. They took some shots on the point to loosen it up a bit, and then they started tacking from the goal line out. And Ryan Miller had to be sharp. He made that last save, but he wasn't 100% sure where that puck was, and it kind of snuck right over the far post and was laying right there.
We're now 2 minutes into this game. 8 shots on goal already by the visitors. Tipped around into the corner. Picked up now, and Flynn spins it off the boards and down the ice. The Sabres penalty kill is brought to you by Napa. Napa has the know-how. Right beside the net again, right on in front, and Luongo makes the save on Hodgson. Back come the Canucks again, brought away to center by Henson. He steers it in over the line. That's Pezic who guns it around on the boards, and that will get it back through center ice again. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Canucks trying to bring it back in and do. Henson leaving it there, picked up by Higgins. Back to the point it comes. Tanev got it across ice, and the shot is fired wide of the net by Bieksa. Steered back into the corner. 6 seconds remaining in penalty time. Vancouver moving it around in the Buffalo end. Higgins swings it back to Bieksa. Now to the other side, and Miller's got that one and hangs on to it just as Buffalo returns to full strength.
Well, Vancouver wasn't really able to penetrate to the front there. Sabres are figuring this out. Don't chase. Just kind of maintain your positioning. When a man comes in, tie him up. Ryan's going to be able to make that save as long as he can see it. But you got to keep that lane clear for him to view the puck.
Don't do it right in the face-off. We're going to try it one more time.
That Vancouver power play ranked 27th in the league. It looked pretty darn good.
Yeah. And the Canucks keeping it in. Duluth getting it back to the point. Long shot, and Miller's got that one.
Yeah, they've got to make sure the wingers get out to the point here quick.
That's the 10th shot on goal by the Canucks here in the opening period. We've yet to play 3 minutes. Another shot now is cleared to the boards and recovered, and Hodgson got it on to center. Vanek unable to control it. Tipped across ice to Booth. Booth swings it up on the wing. Fired in again, and Miller sees that one coming all the way. He'll handle that shot.
Yeah, I think a smart move by Ryan here. Holding every opportunity he can, going for whistles, try to slow them down a little bit. You know, it's kind of that weather the storm thing. Get them in there. They've got a lot of energy coming early here, but if he can slow it down, continue to get the whistles, and maybe they buy some time for his guys to get their legs under here and get things straightened out.
Myers can't come up with it in the corner. It's kept alive by Enrique Sedin. He loses it. Myers chases after it again, tips it around behind the net. Rolled up on the boards, but not out of the zone. Kept in there, back into the corner again. Fed in deep by Higgins. Taken away by Myers. Myers banks it off the boards to center ice. It's picked up there. Brought in over the line with Ennis. Ennis kind of cut in on goal and lost control of it. And Enrique Sedin brings it back again with a pass to Higgins. He fired it across ice. Kessler cutting in with a shot and ripped it off the glass. Tipped all the way back out to center and picked up by Stafford. In over the line to Ennis. Ennis faked his shot, getting away from one. And he stumbles, but he continues to control the puck. Took his shot, hit a leg in front of the net. Stafford digs it free. Stafford rolls it around now to Foligno. Back to the point. Ehrhoff, a blast, deflected just wide. Nipped around into the corner. Foligno wrestling with his man, Enrique Sedin, and it goes around to Tanev. He'll get it off the boards and bounce it all the way back down the ice, and this is coming back on an ice hit.
That's exactly what needed to be done here. This line continues to play well from the other night. The Foligno and the Stafford line getting the puck down low, just trying to get it to the net. There's a great deflection by Ennis in the high slot here. You see Ehrhoff just looking for him. He's shooting that puck towards him. That's a planned play, and he's going to try to redirect it, and he did. Almost caught Luongo off guard.
Wheeled back to the point. Ristolainen. He sends it in deep, but it's recovered behind the net by Garrison, who got it around on the boards and out to center. Weber tips it over to Ristolainen. Vancouver changing. Fired back in again. Skip to the blue line and on to center ice. Over. Ristolainen again. Up it comes to Flynn. Flynn took a shot. Kicked away the rebound. Luongo slapped it to the side. And it's brought away and dribbled out through center ice and down the ice. As Weber taking out Hansen, who didn't like it. Now the puck is stolen by Flynn, and Flynn just got it to center. Canucks with a pass. It's picked off by Flynn at center. Can't get anywhere. It bounces back in over the line and is kept in and shoveled on in deep by Sestito. Jamming along the boards. It's steered free to Ott. Ott wings it across ice, but Weber can't catch up with it. Canucks managing to keep it in. Sestito kicking at it. Ott trying to punch it free and does. And Buffalo taking it back again with Hudson. Hudson picks his way onto center ice. In over the Vancouver line, and he had to deke his way around Ott, but in so doing put him offside.
No, Sabres had a good opportunity. Brian Flynn just throwing the puck to the net from the side. He's got Larson's driving through. Luongo just kicks that puck out. A juicy rebound into the slot. And Larson just not able to get enough of it to get by Luongo, but he is leaving pucks in the slot and he's putting them in bad areas. The Sabres got to get the puck to the net and get these guys going to the net because you don't know what he's going to leave out there.
Now Hamhuis sending it across ice. And getting it right back again. Tipped it up in the wing, deflected in by Daniel Sedin. Linder out of the wing. It's bounced out to center, but picked up and drifted right back in again by the Canucks, trying to clear it out in front of the net. Got back to the boards and worked along the wall. Now it's cleared in front. Miller knocked it away and ends up finally getting a handle on it and hangs on. We're 6 minutes into the opening period from downtown Buffalo, and a furious start by the visitors, but it's scoreless.
First with 13:59 left, our Hyundai leaders, John Tortorella, 14th season as head coach, 414 wins, most among U.S.-born head coaches, and an 862 games coached, 6 for active coaches right now in the NHL. John Tortorella, very spirited guy, but I'll tell you, he comes to play, he plays hard, he works hard, he may be a little intense, but he's one of the best friends you could have off the ice.
The Canucks keeping it in. Stanton got it in front of the net, and Miller is quick to cover up once again.
You know, John Tortorella came in with Rick Dudley here, who's assistant coach, and both these guys very intense. It really pushed the hockey team, and he's moved on and won a Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay, went on to New York, but he's found a home here. He's decided to change his game a little bit of his approach. Guys really appreciate it.
Here's Kessler around behind the Buffalo net, swings out in front and takes a shot. It's jammed in front of the net and tipped off into the corner where Enrique Sedin gets it back to twin brother Daniel. He leaves it for Kessler trying to feed it in front. Foligno broke it up. Still in behind the Buffalo net, now fed back into the corner, into the point it comes. A long shot went to center ice. And it's dribbled across ice, and the Canucks will get it back again. Enrique works it ahead. Kessler getting in over the line. Back to Enrique again. He dropped it back to Daniel. Daniel right through the goal crease. Back to the point, held in by Stanton. Shot went off a skate and in behind the net, is left back in the corner. Shoveled back to Enrique once again. Enrique trying to get away, being hounded along the boards. It's tipped back into the corner. Pezic finally steals it away and bounced it out, and it's chopped back in again on an offside. Stay tuned for the Karuba Collision coming up later in the game, and head to Sabres.com to vote on the Karuba Collision of the Year. There you'll have a chance to win season tickets for next year. 12:57 remaining here in the opening period. Ristolainen tracking it down, being tracked by Booth. Out behind the net to the corner, and it's fired away and ends up going out to center ice. And left there, now brought in over the line. Larson chasing after it. Larson rings it around behind the net to Flynn. Flynn tried to shovel it back to the point, and he took a stiff jolt, and down on the ice he goes as he ran smack dab into David Booth. And Flynn would like to get to the bench, but he's on the wrong side of the ice, and now he will. Around on the boards, it comes out to center ice. Booth takes a hit from McCormick. Scooped high in the air. Booth after it again, dribbled it in over the line, and a quick shot goes wide of the net, around on the boards and out to center ice. Vancouver recovering. Grigorenko is out now with Scott and McCormick for Buffalo. Pass up in the wing. McCormick steered it to the line. Scott stepped into his man Stanton, but the Canucks bring it back in again by wheeling it around behind the net. Hansen going after it, back to the point. And it's shoveled around on the boards, knocked back into the corner again. Sabres trying to knock it free. Grigorenko battling for it. Finally, McCormick takes it away and got it across ice, but it didn't get it out. It's kept in there by the Canucks with a long shot that goes wide. It's back into the corner and held in by Stanton. Holding on along the boards to Santorelli. Santorelli back to the point, a one-timer. Ends up caroming off into the corner. Worked around on the boards, scooped along the wall. Scott trying to get it out. He flipped it ahead and finally moved it out over the line. Buffalo making a change, and Vancouver trying to do the same thing. Meanwhile, it's dribbled in right to Miller, and he will hang on to it.
Well, Brian Flynn gets an elbow here along the wall. Kind of an accidental, and wasn't realized. David Booth gets his elbow up as he's coming from behind. Brian Flynn came to the bench, spoke with Tim Macri, the trainer, here for a couple seconds, and then Timmy took him right into the dressing room.
You got Smacked pretty good. Couldn't really blame it on Booth. I don't think Booth even knew he was coming. Fed down the ice and going back after a Tanev. He'll leave it there for Kessler. Kessler wings it back into the corner. A long pass up on the wing. Brought in over the line by Higgins with a shot, and Miller traps that one.
Now, once again, Vancouver's looking to take that shot from the wide side. They're willing to just throw the puck at Ryan Miller, and that's good because that's going to give him an opportunity to make that easy save, get that whistle, maybe chant the line change if they need to here to just try to slow things down a little bit. Vancouver's coming so strong, so fast right now. He's got to try to control the momentum of this game as much as he can.
Ehrhoff fired it off the boards and got it out of the zone. Ott overskates it. Canucks getting it back again. Picked up by Enrique Sedin. Scoops it over on the wing to Hamhouse, and he'll whistle it in. That's cleared to the blue line, taken back by Hudson, who got it out over the line to Vanek, and he loses control. Now Ott steals it back again. Back to Hudson, backhand, he shot it wide. Enrique Sedin with a pass up on the wing goes to center ice. Ristolainen came over, but he lost it, and Higgins carries on. Left it to Kessler with a shot that caroms wide of the goal. Goes back into the corner for Richardson. He can't control it. Tapped in behind the net. Sabres scooping it back in the other direction. Ehrhoff takes a look with a pass through center that's way too high and goes all the way down the ice and will result in an icing against Buffalo.
Now the Sabres need to figure this out a little bit. They got to get sure these forwards are back in their zone. It's not their fault, but they got to get on the wall because Vancouver's coming so strong. They've got to start eliminating. If they're going to have that much puck control in their own zone, they got to get man on man. Just kind of eliminate the opportunity to pass the puck to each other for Vancouver down below. Try to simplify it a little bit here.
Hudson get tossed, so Ott comes in. Ehrhoff squeezes it behind the net, around on the boards. Hudson got rid of it to center. Work back in the other direction. Ristolainen swings it across ice and gets it back again. He got it up on the wing. In over the line with Foligno taking the shot. Luongo got an arm on that. Foligno back to the point. Weber's long shot doesn't get through. And it's kicked up to Daniel Sedin. It's taken out by Ennis, but gets it in deep into the Buffalo end. Weber chipping it around on the boards. Not out. Fired wide of the goal again. Round on the other side. Stanton holds it in. He dribbled it. Round on the boards, picked up by Bieksa, who fell but kept it in there. Back to Stanton. That deflected in front of an end off a skate that just went wide of Miller. And the Sabres, Stafford got it on to center, picked up there and brought in by Ennis. Ennis looking in front of the net, took the shot, and it went off a leg wide. Back into the corner. Ennis takes a hit, but it's kept in there. Wise. The Sabres now ends up being flipped back to the Buffalo blue line. Pezic ahead. Deflected in by Talinder. Squeezed back into the corner. Larson gets involved. It's chopped free, but the Canucks will come up with it. And Stanton's long pass on the wing goes to center ice. Weiss getting in over the line, got turned around by Larson. Shoveled back in behind the net. Sestino tried to get it out in front. That's cleared away. And the Sabres start back with McCormick's cross-ice pass. It doesn't make it to its intended objective. And now the Canucks will try it again. Feeding it to the Buffalo blue line. Knocked down. Sabres starting away with Ehrhoff. Getting it ahead to Porter. He gets taken out of the play by Alberts. It's rung off the boards and scooped in over the line by Schrader. Recovered by Buffalo, dumped back into the corner. Ehrhoff poked it ahead, did not get it out of the zone. Vancouver keeping it in by dishing it around behind the net. Got to work it out in front. It's right beside the net again. Cashin took a whack at it. That's knocked down, and the Sabres come up with the puck and squeezed by Vanek onto center. Vanek rolling it on in, but recovered by Tanev. Left in the corner. Ott comes in to take out his man. Back to the point. Kalinder's shot. That goes wide of the goal. Weber trying to keep it in there. He does, but it went off a skate and is picked up by Cashin, who fields it through center ice. In over the line, sent in deep by Booth. He gets nailed by Weber. Cashin going after it again, dropped it back, and the shot, it goes off Weber just wide of the goal. Swung around behind the net, picked up by Cashin once more. Cashin back to the point. Yexa fleeting it across ice. Vancouver again keeping it in the Buffalo end, and Miller makes the save and sends it to the side. Ott tipping it around behind the net. Gun back for Talinder. Talinder feeds it off into the corner again. It's scooped ahead to the blue line and finally out, but Buffalo was in the midst of a change. Vancouver trying to get away one more time with Enrique Sedin. That's stolen back by Ennis, who got it up on the wing to Stafford. Stafford scoops his backhand in wide of the net. Recovered by Tanev. Got it off the boards. Foligno digging after it. Tried to work it out in front. Around into the corner to Stafford. Stafford turns on the wall. Back to Foligno again. Foligno tried to get it out in front. Back to the point it comes. There's Ehrhoff with a blast. Rebound. Right in front of the net. And Longo covers up on the play. 5:56 to go in the first period. Buffalo comes close, but the Ford dealers of Western New York replay brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. Built Ford tough.
Well, when the Sabres have been able to get the puck into Vancouver zone, and especially this line right here, they've gained some good opportunities. Roberto Luongo's down, kind of fishing a little bit for the puck, but Ehrhoff does a nice job getting it through, but it hits Drew Stafford, and it stops it right there, and he's not able to get another good handle on it to get the shot. But look, Marcus Foligno's right there, Drew Stafford's right there, and Ennis will come in on the play too. So everybody converging to the net, trying to make it difficult.
Now back into the Buffalo end. Ristolainen rips it up on the wing and got it out of the zone. Scott tapped it ahead. And covering up quickly is Santorelli. Got it in behind the net for Hamhuis. Long pass through center. Banked off the boards by Ristolainen. Chipped up in the air, taken out of the air with a high stick of Higgins, but the Sabres come up with the puck, so no whistle. Pass off Scott will deflect in and go right to Hamhuis. He got it back to center. Now in over the line comes Santorelli, who got turned around by Myers. Santorelli after it again, tried to clear it in front. They score! A quick shot deflected in front of the net and went right to Higgins, who put it away.
Well, it was just some work down low, and some good work down low here. Just throw the puck away. You got to hang on to that, Henrik. You either got to hang on to it or go back the other way. He threw it back into traffic, and Vancouver was able to skate right into it, pick it up. But a pass right out through the middle. Cody McCormick got a piece of it. You got it there. Maybe capture it, stop it, and then move it. Don't try to one-time it into a situation. He put it right to the Vancouver player, and Higgins is able to get the second goal of the season.
Well, Vancouver chalks up the first goal of the game on its 16th shot of the game. Poked off the wall now. Foligno knocked it in over the line, trying to track it down. Chases in there, bumping with Bieksa. Foligno rattled it in front of the net, but it's taken back again by Kessler. Kessler gave it to his goaltender. Over to Stanton. Up to center ice and drifted in wide of Miller. Miller chopped it around on the glass. Kessler's got it in the corner. Kessler leaving it behind the net. Buffalo taking it back again with a pass that goes to center. Right onto Stanton's stick. Bieksa to Stanton. Buffalo changing. And it's deflected in over the line. Daniel Sedin going after it. Left it to Henry. Back in behind the goal. Pezic couldn't take it away. Here's Daniel again. Sliding it behind the net. It came right out in front, but is picked up by Stafford, who got it out of the zone. Too far for Porter. Up on the wing it comes. Daniel getting in over the line again. Tried to pass it to himself, and it's taken away by Pezic, who got it to Porter. Porter attempting to pull free. Sends it high in the air to center. Busted in over the line. Flynn chasing after it. Kept in there by Larson. Larson shoveling out of along the boards. A high stick now goes to the corner. Here's Flynn taking a shot on the goal crease. And Luongo juggled it momentarily, but then covers up. 3:40 left to play here in the first period. Chris Higgins has the only goal.
For the team to get the best possible result, it requires hard work, talent, and passion.
Let our team at Cellino Barnes help you get the best possible result.
Sergeant Jared O'Brien being introduced to the crowd, one of the military who is being honored here tonight, and deservedly so. A standing ovation for the sergeant. Face-off will be deep in Vancouver territory. The visitors are in front by 1. Hudson wins the draw. Ristolainen leaves it along the boards to Vanek. Vanek tried to force a pass through the middle. It's picked off and brought away to center. Shoveled up on the wing for Santorelli. He took a shot and Miller cleared it away. Now on to center for Vanek. Vanek back to Ott. Ott rings it across ice, and Vanek chipped it on into the corner. Comes back to the point and got away from Ristolainen and down the ice. Weber came over quickly but didn't get it out. It's kept in by Higgins across ice. The shot deflected high off the glass. Tipped it back into the corner again. Round to Higgins holding it in there. Vancouver more pressure on, and Miller will cover up and hang on to it.
Now Vancouver on the turnover rush, coming back into the zone. Sabres players got to be alert. Where the third man is, where's the fourth man? You just can't come back in the zone. You got to be looking over your shoulder, knowing where your man is, because you never know who's going to get the puck. Man takes it wide. He just kind of holds up and waits, throws it way back, waiting for the late guy. Nobody there to cover him.
Well, they apparently do not do that right on the face-off, so they'll do it again. I think a second or two went off the clock, but they're not even going to worry about it. Canucks getting it back to the point and keeping it in with a shot that finds the glass. Foligno helps out by coming up with it. He leaves it back in behind the net. Drifted around. Linder scooped it ahead out to center. Stafford couldn't reach it. However, Ennis does. Ennis takes the shot and he ripped it just wide. Back to the point, and Linder tracks it down at center ice. Vancouver getting it back, and a slashing penalty coming up to Linder as he took a whack at Zach Cashin. The Canucks send their goaltender to the bench and get an extra attacker out there. And bring the puck on with Henrik Sedin in over the line. Wheels it across ice to Richardson. He got it back to the point. It's deflected into the slot. Back to the point it comes again. Dumped along the boards and held in there to Cashin. Cashin sailed it high over top of the net. Around to Tanev on the other side. Now the Canucks keeping it in. Enrique is finally deflected out to center by Foligno, and they'll whistle it down, and Buffalo will be shorthanded. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to the Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lights.
Now Henrik Linder's going to the bench for hooking, and it happened right in front of me here. Gets a stick up on Zach Kassian. They were going at each other earlier down in the zone off the face-off, and they came together here once again. He got a stick up, knocked the stick out of Zach Kassian's hands, which in turn the referee staring straight at him.
Well, the Canucks get their second power play of the night. It's cleared across ice, kept in by Hammers with a shot that deflects, goes over top of the net. Weber's got lots of time, and he spins it all the way down the ice. Luongo coming out to slow it down and set up his teammate. Canucks on again. Tipped back by Booth. Enrique Sedin drags it in over the line. This time he held it a little too long, and it's an offside. Booth got in too early, or Kessler, pardon me.
Vancouver's want to come with speed here. They're going to want to get ahead of steam up, have one guy carrying the puck, and everybody else gain the line. Sabres are doing a nice job. Just stand it up. Get as many people on the line, make it difficult to get across, and get your sticks out to prevent that lane.
There's Myers catching up with the puck and rifling it around on the boards, and it's cleared out to center ice. Brought in by Larson, who drifted it wide. Chases after it, and Luongo knew that he had somebody right behind him, so he flopped on it wisely.
Yeah, nice job by Larson.
Oh, yeah.
Just using the screen, throwing it in. throw it by and try to jump by the defenseman. Luongo's not sharp. He's battling that puck a little bit, especially when it gets down around his feet area, and he's kind of just grabbing for the puck instead of smoothly covering the puck. He's a little jumpy.
Kesler wins the draw. Back it goes to Hamhuis. And it's brought on now to center ice. Enrique Sedin steers it out to Daniel. Daniel takes it to the hash marks. Back to Hamhuis. Got it to the other side. The shot gets blocked, and trying to get to his feet is Hodgson, and that hurt. He's stumbling around out there. Vancouver keeping it in, trying to work it in front. Comes back to the point again. Drifted across ice. Kept in by Garrison. Garrison kicks it free and leaves it along the boards. Held in there by Hamhuis. Back to Garrison. He got it across ice. Sent back into the corner. Vancouver buzzing around, but no shots yet. It's cleared right beside the net. Kicked in behind the goal. Jammed back into the corner. They rolled it around on the boards, but held in by Garrison. Garrison feeding it on into the corner. Hamhuis. Garrison one-timer, and he blasted it right on, and that's grabbed by Miller and held on, and Miller is close quarters with Kesler.
Now, Cody McCormick can't get off that ice quick enough because he had a heck of a shot block, and it took him right on the inside of the foot. Knee, foot, right there, and down he goes, and he struggled that whole shift, but he did a nice job, and here's the scoring chance right at the end before the whistle. Shot comes straight through. Myers does enough to get Kesler off to the side, so Miller's able to see the puck coming in.
Rolled around behind the Buffalo net. Weber goes after it, rips it around on the boards, and gets it out to center ice. With 8 seconds remaining in the period. Pass comes ahead, brought back over the line by Higgins. Higgins, who has the only goal, and bounced it off a skate out to center, and that shall bring proceedings in the first to an end.
Well, not a great start by the Sabres. Spent an awful lot of time in their own zone. Ryan Miller once again great. They got to get in. They got to start playing a little bit in the Vancouver end here in this second.
Well, thanks to Ryan Miller, the Vancouver Canucks were held off the scoreboard with the exception of 1 goal by Chris Higgins. And Buffalo outshot 19-7 in the opening 20 minutes of play, but their score is just by 1 in favor of the visitors.
Sabres hockey is brought to you by Verizon Fios, America's fastest, most reliable internet, and proud sponsor of the Buffalo Sabres. Brought to you by the Ford F-150 with EcoBoost, built Ford tough. Need a fence, deck, or porch railings? Cut your maintenance and trust in the best. Call the Vinyl Outlet today. Brought to you by your Buffalo Hyundai dealers. Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Buffalo Sabres. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your local Greater Buffalo area Honda dealer. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Welcome back. Time for period 1 highlights from here at First Niagara Center. A Tallinder turnover and then a McCormick turnover, and it leads to the only goal of this game so far as Chris Higgins nets his 2nd of the year. They give a helper to Santorelli. I guess that's why we profiled him in the pregame. And with that, the 1-0 advantage that, as Roby and Razor alluded to, could have been a lot worse. You look at the Corsi number, which is the shots generated, not just the ones on goal, but the missed shots and blocked ones too. Side-by-side comparison, Vancouver had a ton of opportunities. This has been the trend in period 1 so far this year, as Buffalo's been outshot 127-74 over the first 9 first periods this year. You see Vancouver getting a lot of those dangerous attempts from in the gray and red zones, obviously very close to Ryan Miller. Possession time, as you would expect, power play opportunities there for Vancouver on 2 Buffalo Miners. That meant a lot of time in the offensive zone overall, and 7 minutes and 22 seconds of actual puck possession within the offensive zone. And I would suggest, if you're looking at 2 minutes and 12 seconds, that the Sabres had possession of the puck in the Vancouver zone. A large part of that was probably generated by the Foligno, Ennis, and Stafford lines, as they did do some good work down low in and around Roberto Luongo. It obviously needs to pick up in period number 2. Buffalo's used to this situation. First periods have been their nemesis so far this year, and as we talked about against the Islanders on Tuesday, 3 times they came back from a goal down. I'll need to get this thing evened up in a hurry as we hand it off for Rick Jeanneret, Rob Ray in period number 2.
Oh, and we're ready to go from First Niagara Center. Now, Tallinder has 6 seconds left in his minor penalty to serve to begin this period. Hudson tapped it back. And it's brought in by Kessler with a shot, and that misses. Comes all the way around on the boards, held in by Garrison. Garrison feeds it behind the net. Buffalo back at full strength. Piazza got it in behind the goal. Trying to work it out in front, but it's knocked down and chipped ahead, and after it is Tallinder. Tallinder rips it across ice out to center, taken away by Ott, coming in over the line. Ott drags it back, shoots one, and left blocked in front. In fact, he might have hit Hodgson in the back. And there's been a penalty called here. Interference will be the call. And it's going, I think, to Kevin Bieksa.
I think.
Or is it going to Hudson? Well, they were the only two players.
I know, but
in front of the net.
the referee has indicated both, actually. Because he pointed to Hodgson to get over there, and then all of a sudden he went back to see. But right now, Cody Hodgson's the only one going, and he's getting interference. Right from the breakout here, Steve Ott takes the puck wide, tries to draw it to the middle. Nice job. Cody Hodgson tries to stop it in the top, but he's got a man right on him, Bieksa, and he just kind of pushes him in a little bit. Tough call.
Well, see, all the fans now are looking at it on the big board, and they're upset now. Here, Canucks are back on the power play again. And the city put it in front of the net. They walk out of the can, and Miller's got it, and now knocks it away. Knocked in front of the net again. It comes free, and it's finally taken by Ehrhoff, who scoops it down the ice. A lot of action in about 4 or 5 seconds. Back comes Hamhuis. Hamhuis leaving it at center. It's dribbled down in over the line. Kept in by the Canucks, working with the man advantage. And a 1-0 lead. Daniel Sedin with a shot, and he ripped it over top of the net, and that caroms on the boards and is cleared out to center. Dropped back in over the line by Stafford. Stafford trying to get away in the corner, shoveled it on the boards, chases after it again. And it's finally picked up and wheeled away to center ice. Sedin leaving it there to Enrique Sedin. He'll put on the brakes at the hash marks. Steered it in front to Daniel. Couldn't get his shot away. And Myers uses the glass to gun it back down the ice. Less than a minute to go in the Hudson penalty. Vancouver's Bieksa starting away again. He gets to the Buffalo line. Wheels it off into the corner. The shot right on. Miller makes the stop. Vancouver, Bieksa keeping it in. Used it along the board, sent back into the corner by Santorelli. Now steered around to the boards and tapped all the way back down by McCormick. Porter goes charging down, so Luongo sends it off into the corner. With 22 seconds remaining in penalty time. Pass on to center, Santorelli getting it over the line. He got checked, and it's recovered by Weber, and Weber punches it off the boards. Hasn't got it behind the net, but can't come up with it. Santorelli after it again, gets checked back there. It's kicked free in the corner, and recovered and brought out now by Larson. Larson coming through center. Buffalo back at full strength. The shot right on, and Luongo's going to hang on to it.
Well, Brian Flynn saved the goal. Right here, you're going to see him right here. Gets the stick out of the scrum, and that puck's heading towards the goal line while there was a big scrum piled up on the power play for Vancouver in front of the net. And Brian just pulls himself out, gets in an area where he can see everything, and luckily enough, he was able to get that puck.
Shot by Ehrhoff. Here's Stafford. Whacks at it. It went down in front of the net, and now it's cleared away and brought out after Foligno got knocked down. Hold on into the Buffalo zone. Going back after it, Stafford left it to Ehrhoff. He ripped it around on the boards, but not out of the zone. Kept in by Vancouver. Worked back in the corner. Now Foligno falls. He couldn't get it out. Goes after it again. Canucks keeping it in. It's knocked down in front of the net and recovered, and Buffalo will get a chance to get it out and do to Ennis. He dribbled it across ice. Ritsalenen's pass is picked off. Brought right back in again. Cleared in front of the net. The shot right on. Miller hangs on to it.
Blue Cross Blue Shield values our members by giving a 10% discount at the Sabres store. Just show your ID card. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Western New York. Healthy changes everything.
Changes for both clubs. A little over 3 minutes into the second period. 1-0 Vancouver. Goal by Higgins in the first period. Kesler and Tim Nowak, the linesman, having another lengthy conversation. Puck is finally dropped, shoveled around on the boards, but is kept in there. Daniel Sedin got away from a check thrown at him by Ott. It's rolled back into the corner and picked off and brought out now by Buffalo. Hudson straight down the wing. He gains the line. Hudson tried to drop it back, and Stanek couldn't come up with a pass. Went all the way into the Buffalo end. Myers attempting to pull free, shovels it high and bounces it off a Vancouver stick. Going back, Tanev dishes it off into the corner. Up on the wing and deflected in wide of the Buffalo net. Miller is out to play it around on the glass, but not out of the zone. Kept in by the Canucks with a shot. Miller the save on Kesler, and it's scooped away, but not out. Bieksa taking the long shot. That one bounces over top of the net. Pezic taking it back, then he gave it away to Kesler. Kesler in behind the net, trying to work it out in front. Kesler leaves it back in the corner and gets it once again. Shovels it in behind the net. For Henrik Sedin. Pezic on him. It's drifted around on the other side. And the Canucks have the Sabres hemmed in their own end. Pezic chasing after it once more. Trying to pull free on the board. Finally sends it out to center ice away from Sestito. It's cleared back in again with the teams changing. Long pass on the wing. Grigorenko couldn't get anywhere. Brought back in over the line by Weiss. Weiss works it in down low. Cleared it in front and Miller steered it away. Goes back into the corner. And then at the side of the net, chopped around behind the goal. McCormick hacked at it, didn't get it out. Pezic has been out there a long time trying to chase after it again. It's dribbled back into the corner. And Vancouver keeping it in. It came in front of the net, but finally is stolen away by Porter. On to center to McCormick. He took a shot that's right on, and that's going to be held by Luongo.
Well, the Sabres were just under siege in their own end. I talked to Joe Sacco between periods why this was happening, and what he was saying is their defensemen are trying to force the puck up the walls, and when they're doing that, they're not able to get it out because the defense for Vancouver are doing a nice job keeping the puck in the zone all the time. They got to start looking to the middle of the ice, trying to hit the man coming through and get out that way. And he said they're sitting back just way too much.
There's Weber's shot that gets blocked, and here's a chance now and a break coming in on goal. Hansen walking in the shot. Miller knocked it away from him. Off the boards, kept in again by the Canucks. Higgins steers it back into the corner. Around behind the net. Hansen tried to bank it in off Miller. It went to the blue line. But is kept in by Vancouver. Another long shot. That goes wide. Sent to the other side. Scooped free. And recovered by Hansen, who got away from Weber. They poke at it in the corner. Hansen gets it back again to the point. Stanton rolling it across ice. Kept in behind the net. Larson steals it back as he gets knocked down in the corner. And he flipped it around to Ristolainen. Left for Weber. Up to Scott. Can't get it out. Weber guns it ahead, but still not out of the zone. It came right in front of the net. Weber getting it back again. And tapping it off to Hansen, who's tired. And got it in deep on his way to the bench. Luongo works it into the corner. It's flipped around on the boards and comes to center ice and is picked up by Cashin. Cashin in over the line, trying to get around Myers, who takes him out rudely. It's jammed around on the boards, but not out of the zone. Cashin has it again. Mounted by Talinder. Cashin trying to work his way in front of the net. Gets checked and it's picked up by Ennis. Ennis slipping in over the Vancouver line. He puts on the brakes. Heels it across ice to Myers. Myers doesn't shoot. Now he does, but it's blocked in front of the net and is picked off by Schrader. He got it to center ice. Cashin bringing it back again. Heels it in with a shot. Miller got an arm on that to knock it away. Clubbed around behind the net, and down on the ice in the corner is Myers, who's slow at getting up. Trying to struggle to his feet. Puck is cleared away and finally is taken and knocked out to center, and Myers is hobbling over toward the Buffalo bench. Now Vancouver's Bieksa pass to center ice. Hudson couldn't steal it away. It's sent in deep into the corner for Daniel Sedin. He rolled it on the boards. Hudson tapped it. It came in front of the net, and Miller said, I'll look after this baby and hang on to it right here with 12:33 remaining in the second period. And Vancouver 1-0. Sabres Toshiba Business Solutions, your leader in document management.
Vancouver's Hansen had a great opportunity here coming in. Ryan Miller gets the stick out, gives a little poke, but when you see the other angle here, Ristolainen does a nice job. He gets his stick right on, right here. When Hansen's trying to pull that puck to the outside, he prevents him from getting it to the outside, and Hansen's got to try to go back through the middle of Ryan Miller where he's opened up a little bit, and he's able to get the stick on it for the save. So nice job by both those men.
Ott kicking at the puck, tied up between two skates, finally comes free. Enrique Sedin going behind the net. Ott tracks him down in the corner and shoves him into the boards. Poked around on the wall again, kept in by Vancouver, right out in front. Ehrhoff takes it away. He scooped it to the line and out to center to Vanek. Vanek gets checked. Ott is there to take it back again, but his pass is too far for Hodgson. Rolled in behind the net. It's tapped around into the corner. Back to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff rifles it in to Vanek. Vanek attempting to get free in the corner. And now it's poked away and brought to the blue line and out to center ice. Ehrhoff slaps at it. And it finally cleared out to the neutral zone. Vanek leaves it there to Hodgson, who drags it in over the line, but gets muscled off the puck by Kessler. Pass coming to center is stolen back by Weber. Weber in his own end. Cross ice, that's picked off, brought again, stolen back and cleared across to Porter. Porter will dish it in deep. And in after it is Flynn around to Porter on the other side. Porter wheeled it back to Larson, but it comes all the way around to Ristolainen. He'll keep it in. Larson digs it free behind the net. Larson looking for an open man to Weber, over to Ristolainen, into the slot area. Larson after it again. He tried to clear it in front of the net. It goes back into the corner to Porter. Porter attempting to get away. Porter battling for it on the wall. They chip at it on the boards. Kept in by Buffalo. Porter digs it free again. He got knocked off the puck by Bieksa, but Flynn is there to take it away. Flynn took a shot. That doesn't get through. And it's steered ahead by Hansen, but play is called and a penalty coming up to Vancouver, and that gets a big cheer from the crowd. And now Bieksa and Larson had a chat. Stay up to date on roster moves and find out what the coach is thinking every week on WGR. Join Sabres head coach Ron Ralston Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. with Howard and Jeremy on the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550.
The Sabres going on a power play right here in front of the net. Holding call on Vancouver. Defenseman grabs right onto the stick of Larson, not allowing him to get him on the puck. And he tried to plead his case, but the referee was standing right there seeing the whole thing. So they got an opportunity here to tie it up.
Vancouver comes up with the puck immediately and brings it on to center ice. Daniel Sedin just sends it deep into the corner. This Buffalo Sabres power play brought to you by New Wave Energy. Visit nwaveenergy.com to join the power behind the Buffalo Sabres. Use offer code SABRES. Stuffed in around in the boards, rifled ahead and off the stick and down the ice, and Myers chasing back after it. Down to Ehrhoff. Minute and a half left in power play time. Ehrhoff through the middle, brought in over the line to Myers. Myers sends it in deep. Ennis knocked down, but got it around on the boards. Goes after it again. And to wheel it in behind the net. It's picked up by Bieksa, who left it to Stanton. Back it comes to Myers. Myers over to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff winds up. He fired it way wide of the net, and it goes all the way down the ice. Less than a minute remaining in the penalty. halfway through the second period. 1-0 Vancouver. Ehrhoff getting it up on the wing to Foligno. Foligno tried to send it in front of the net, but it's knocked down and picked off and brought back by Santorelli. And he'll scoop it the rest of the way down. Miller is out to play it into the corner. Punched off the boards. Ahead. Brought in by Stafford. Can't get his shot away. And then flipped it back to the point. It's shoveled in along the boards again. Recovered by the Canucks. And brought on to center ice. Santorelli getting it over the line. And a quick shot. They score! Tapped into the net by Richardson. And a short-handed goal has given Vancouver a 2-0 lead.
Well, right here you're going to see this puck is going to deflect off Pezik's foot. And that kind of threw everything because the puck just sort of goes up and it throws everybody off right there. It goes up, it hits Richardson, and he's able to get that puck. Watch, it's going to go up, hit him, and it's going to fall perfectly for him, and he's going to tap it into the net. That's Vancouver's third shorthanded goal.
Now the penalty expires and it's cleared into Canuck territory. Sabres trying to keep it in, tucked back into the corner. Porter flings it in for Larson behind the goal. Larson gets away, leaves it there. Grigorenko, or Flynn, I beg your pardon, takes the shot. Back to the point it comes. Lifted into the corner, rolls around behind the net. Stanton got it ahead. And it's fed and deflected out to center ice. Carrying on in over the line comes Schrader. This one is finally held long enough for a face-off with 8:14 remaining. Here in the second period, the Canucks up their lead to 2-0. Stack reports railings, cut your maintenance, trust in the best. Call the Vinyl Outlets.
Our Vinyl Outlet top D, the most points for defensemen. Vancouver leads the league right now with 19 points. Add another one. Jason Garrison just got an assist on that last Richardson goal. And you see the totals: Montreal, Winnipeg, Toronto, and San Jose.
Well, Schrader wins the draw. Back to Tanev. He gets it across ice. Ripped in wide of the net. Miller slapped it away. It goes to Cashin in the corner. Feeds it to the other side. Ripped it around on the boards. Larson can't get it out. And finally it's broken up and Porter can't get anywhere. Tapped back into Cashin again. Cashin trying to get away from Ristolainen. He stayed right on him and a long shot gets knocked down and is chipped right back through the middle. There's Tanev coming up with it. He feeds it in deep. Weber sailing around behind his net, got it around on the boards, off Flynn and out to center. Shot back in the other direction, drifted across ice. Porter goes after it. Porter looks for a pass and got it in over the line. Back to Flynn. Flynn doesn't shoot, he hangs on to the puck. Flynn dishing it in behind the net. Vanek tried to get it in front. It came all the way back to the point. It's kept in. Pezik over to Ehrhoff. His shot gets blocked in front of the net. And is recovered by the Canucks and sent away to center ice. Knocked down there. Hodgson breaks it up now to Vanek in over the line. Took his shot and that went off the stick of Garrison and out of play.
Well, the Sabres is taking this puck. They got to get him in deep. They got to come up as a tandem. They're just individuals right now. They got to get one or two more guys up in the play to try to make something happen here. They're getting the puck. They're getting through the neutral zone, but when they gain the zone, it's a one-man show. They got to come up as a group, or they got to get themselves in that position where they're able to get the puck back from the man that has it.
Going to be Higgins against Hodgson for the draw. Hodgson wins it, but wins it too good, and it ends up back in his own end. Left for Pezik. Pezik can't get it out. It's kept in the shot, and that goes high as Hansen let it go. And it actually went out of play, but a couple of the officials did not realize it. And it was quite properly whistled down.
Yeah, I think one thing they are doing okay in the defensive zone, they're not forcing a ton, taking themselves out of play, because I think Vancouver's really looking to try to draw them over to them, trying to open something up, especially when the Sedins are on the ice. You know, you just want to don't rush. Just take your time, cut that angle off.
Myers takes out Enrique Sedin. It's rolled around on the board. Stafford has some difficulty though. Enrique gets it back again, leaving it in front to Kessler. That's kicked away and slipped out to center ice for Stafford. Gets in over the line, looking for a trailer. Slapped at it again, came to the blue line, and is finally brought back to center by Kessler. Kessler whipping it in. Miller is there to guide it around on the boards, but came back to the point. Long shot, knocked down in front of the net. Daniel Sedin left it there. Kessler fanned on it. Got another try and tapped it wide. Myers jammed it on the boards. Canucks keeping it in. Myers getting it back. Well, he can't move it out of the zone. And finally it pops ahead and is steered across ice to Stafford. Stafford coming with Ennis. Over to Ennis, and it jumped over his stick. Ennis after it in the corner, rolled around on the boards. Foligno trying to keep it in there. He knocked down Kessler. Came back to Stafford with a shot, blocked in front of the net. And it's sent off the boards and high in the air and out of play right at the Buffalo bench. With 5.5 remaining. Second period. The visiting Canucks are up by pair.
Vancouver 2-0 here with 5:29 left in the second period. Our New York Lotto inside the numbers. The NHL's longest consecutive games played streak. Man in this game here tonight, Henrik Sedin sits at 637. The only active player on that list too is Jay Bouwmeester. The rest of them, a lot of numbers, a lot of continuous games played. That's a big feat, and one of the guys everybody in this fans know here, Craig Ramsey, done an awful lot of that with the Buffalo Sabres right here.
Well, a face off deep in the Vancouver end. Goes to the boards, tipped around behind the net. Scott comes over to step into his man. It ends up back inside the Buffalo line. Ristolainen chasing after it. He's got Richardson after him. Stumped ahead and rolled all the way into the Vancouver zone. Luongo dishes it off into the corner. All the way back to center ice. Ristolainen! He knocked his check. Sestino right into the Buffalo bench. And that got the crowd going. Off to Tanev. He got it up ahead. Takes his shot, went off a stick into the corner. Shoveled around behind the net by Weiss. Taken back by Ristolainen. Ristolainen coming on to center. He'll scoop it on in and head to the bench. Down for Weiss. Weiss getting to center. Dribbled it ahead. Broken up at center ice and brought back by Buffalo again. Whistled on in by Flynn. Then chasing after it. Porter ducked away from a check. Tried to get it back to the point. Porter goes right back at it again. Flynn works it back. Cleared across ice. Dumped into the slot to Porter. Couldn't get a shot away. Off it comes to Ehrhoff. He dumped it across ice. There's a shot that's going to be right on, but it was slowed down as Porter let it go, and he didn't get much on it.
Well, there was a big hit right there by that man. Mr. Ristolainen comes across right in front of the bench here. Finishes his check. Puts his man right into the bench.
Oh, that's not fair, Razor. How come none of the guys on the bench were helping the poor guy out?
I don't know, but I'll tell you, this assistant guy is a big man.
Yes,
he's standing
he
about,
though.
he's John Scott size almost out there.
Yeah,
so that was a big collision.
He played for Philadelphia before. He's a big one. Puck comes back to the point. Off to Ehrhoff. Gunned it in wide of the net. Luongo steered it away. Taken back in the corner by Vanek, who gets tied up. Rolled it around behind the net. Ott, the first one there. Ott, Ehrhoff. Blasts a shot right on the rebound, right in front of the net. Luongo didn't know where it was, but it was cleared away. And Ott tumbled over top of the goaltender. Now brought back again, and a shot by Sedin is high and wide. Worked around on the boards, picked off, and away goes Ott. Up on the wing, trying to get it to Vanek. Vanek bumping his way into the corner. Took it back again, around to Ott. Couldn't get it in front to Hodgson. And it's drifted across ice with Buffalo changing. Steered on in by Bieksa. Myers takes it away. Myers again uses the boards but doesn't get it out. Goes after it once more. Still can't get it out. It's another try, and up on the wing it comes to Stafford. Stafford gaining the line, going to the outside. He tried to go to the net. He was knocked down by Hamhurst. And it's tipped across ice and brought back now by the Canucks. Dribbled around in behind into the Buffalo corner. Kalinder got tied up. But it's knocked free by Foligno and sent over on the wing to Ennis. Ennis will get it in deep and chase in after it. Alberts gets there first. Alberts rolled it up on the wing. Taken away and flipped around behind the Buffalo net. Miller slows it down. Now gets it around on the glass, but it jumped over the stick of Ennis. And it's kept in by Vancouver. Myers, Foligno, on the wing it comes. And dumped to an open wing, and nobody is there for Buffalo, and it's cleared back in the other direction. That's way offside. Nice try by Jannik Hansen, but offside.
Well, Thomas Vanek had a great opportunity here late in the second period. Christian Ehrhoff takes the shot from the point. Keeps it low where Vanek is able to get his stick on it, redirects it. Luongo makes the save, but he has no idea where the puck is. Look at him looking around, wondering where it is. It's laying right there, but Thomas wasn't able to get turned to put it into the net.
Back to the point to Weber. Leaves it now to Flynn. Flynn took a shot, didn't get through. Goes after it again in the corner. Trying to dig it free. Larson lurks to the outside. Hansen shoves him ever so gently. Poked on the boards, kept in by Larson. Spun around behind the net. Chasing after it is Porter in the corner. He gets rubbed out by Hansen. Larson keeps it alive. Larson still got it. Back to Weber. Took his shot, but it gets blocked by Santorelli. And is cleared through center and all the way down the ice, and that's an icing. Don't miss, and I mean don't miss, Rob Ray on WGR 550. He takes you inside the locker room and gives you a player's view when he joins Schopp and the Bulldog. Game days at 4 p.m. on the home of the Buffalo Sabres, WGR Sports Radio 550.
That's the smartest thing you've said all night. So listen when I'm on there.
I worked on that script forever.
John Tortorella's called a timeout here for the Vancouver Canucks on that icing.
Well, you know, despite the fact that Vancouver's out shooting Buffalo 28-13, they're only up 2-0. And the Sabres have had some opportunities on their 13 shots. And as you mentioned earlier, Luongo looks as if he was a little bit shaky, but he's managed to keep them off the board.
Passion, talent, and hard work help the Sabres perform at their best.
That's also what helps us win injury cases. Give us a call.
Ott will take the draw. 88 seconds remaining in the second period. That's Santorelli gets the heave-ho. Hansen comes in. Ott kicks it free anyway, but it's Hodgson unable to steal it back, and it's dribbled inside the Buffalo line. Pezic slapped it right back out. Canucks trying to make a quick change here. Rolled along the boards, and that ends up, I guess, on the Vancouver bench. I don't see it, so that's probably where it is.
And I'm right here, and I can't even tell you.
Yeah, I think that's where it ended up. Canada will whip it into the corner. Ehrhoff had it in his skates and didn't see it. comes in front of the net, is cleared up on the wing, but too far for Vanek. And back into the Canucks end. Less than a minute to go in the second period. Around the boards to Kessler. Kessler gets checked at center ice, goes after it again, taken away by Vanek. Vanek tried to cut in on goal. He rolled it in the goal crease, and Luongo covers up.
And Steve Atz arguing with the referee. Why'd you blow the whistle so quick? And you might have a good case there because the puck was laying out front. The referee's below the goal line, not able to see it because of the traffic. Thomas does a nice job getting the puck to the net. Hodgson's fishing from the side. But Thomas just powers his way in, just drops his shoulder, gets it to the net. Does a nice job bringing it from his backhand to his forehand, but everybody comes to the net, starts battling for it. But Luongo was able to find it soon enough to make it the save and cover the puck.
Garrison rattled it around on the boards and got it back down into the Buffalo end, and a race for it now. Goes to the corner. Myers steers it free to Foligno. Foligno dribbled it ahead, and it's brought on to center ice with a pass to Ennis. Ennis in over the line. Headed in deep around behind the goal to Richardson. That deflects to center ice, chopped away by Tallinder. Myers kept it in there, but it's picked off and sent back through center and into the Buffalo end. No icing. Tallinder going after it as he bumps in the corner along with Richardson. Ennis coming over trying to help out. 3 seconds remaining in the period. They roll it around on the boards, and that is going to end period 2.
Well, it's another period where they had missed opportunities. They got the puck in. They did some nice work down low, but not able to capitalize. Ryan continues to play big, but they got to get Luongo. He's fighting the puck at the other end. I think they're missing out. They're not taking advantage of getting enough pucks to this guy and making him work a little harder.
The shots on goal are double right now, 28-14 in favor of the Vancouver Canucks. But the Canucks get one in the first period from Higgins, and one in the second period shorthanded from Richardson, and have a 2-0 lead.
For over 50 years, Cellino & Barnes is Western New York's largest personal injury firm. The Gates Vascular Institute, building a healthier future. Integrity Office, supplying solutions to all your business needs.
Period number 2 produced 1 goal. It was for Vancouver. 13 seconds to go in the Ham Hughes penalty. Shorthanded tally. Brad Richardson second from Garrison and Santarelli. 2 helpers for Santarelli tonight. And for Garrison, a terrific start. 8 points on the year. He has 7 points in 11 career games against Buffalo. Your Vein Treatment Center summary. Visit them online at veins.com. See the scoring chances through 2. And Buffalo not that certainly closer in the second than they were in the first. The hits have been in Buffalo's favor. The faceoffs have certainly been in Buffalo's favor, but the important numbers, Vancouver 2, Buffalo no score. Taking it a little deeper, you look at the Corsi number to this point in time. Again, it was very lopsided after the first. Buffalo generated a bit more in the second. They're getting doubled in shots on goal, but you can see that the Sabres have again had a little bit of trouble getting it through the opponent blocks as well, causing them a little havoc. Buffalo, of course, under siege at times too, so their defenders have been asked to block a lot. Minus 16 when it comes to the Corsi number. Puck possession time is a lot closer in period 2 based on special teams. In the first, Sabres were shorthanded twice. In the second, each team had a penalty. You can see that puck possession in the offensive zone. 5:36 for Vancouver, 4:23 for the Sabres. We'll say it again, just like we did after 1. If the Sabres are going to get back in this game, they need to spend just a little bit more time in the Vancouver zone. Rick Jeanneret, Rob Ray have period number 3. Don't forget to join us immediately following this one for the Lexus postgame report here at First Niagara Center. Gentlemen?
Yeah, all right, and the Sabres' next game is also at home on Saturday night when the Colorado Avalanche will be at First Niagara Center. Seeing our share of Western teams lately in the early part of the season. 2-0. This current Western team, Vancouver, holds the lead. Bieksa rips it up along the boards. Kessler fell, but it's cleared across ice and picked off by Ott. He got it ahead, deflected in by Hodgson. Bieksa sweeps it behind the net. The pass comes up the middle, dumped off on the wing. Kessler gets it over to Daniel Sedin. He leaves it back at the point. Kept in there now. It works to the corner. Daniel Sedin took a shot that went off the leg in front of the net, bounces in behind the goal. Sedin, Daniel going after it again. On to Enrique in the corner. That's picked off, but it's cleared around to the other side, and Bieksa is the first one there. Bieksa fed it out in front, taken away and passed up on the wing, and away goes Hodgson. Hodgson getting in over the line. Hodgson across the man and cutting in, shoots, score! The cookies, and the captain, Thomas Vanek, puts Buffalo on the board.
Well, great execution by this line all the way down the ice. Steve Ott picks off the pass, hits Cody Hodgson coming down in front of the benches. Once again, draws it wide, pulls two defenders over to him. That allows Thomas Vanek to sneak in the backside. Right here, as he comes down, he takes a look. He realizes he's got Thomas driving. And when he goes wide, both defenders come right across to them. Leaves Thomas wide open. It was a beautiful pass across the ice. Like you said, it went top side there. Up above Luongo's glove.
They're looking at it. And you know what? It's no goal.
I don't think it is.
I think it hit the crossbar and the post and stayed out.
We're going to look at it right here again. Puck's going to come in the short side over his glove to crossbar to the post, and it never does cross the line. It comes back out.
Oh, boy. Oh, and your snake bit. I was right about top shelf, but
yeah,
it did not cross the goal line.
No, it hit perfectly in the middle of the crossbar, came across and hit the post and back out.
Well, they're still conferring with the war room, but I think that the Sabres' worst fears are about to be proven true. And now the fans are getting an opportunity to see on the big board exactly what happened. And that kind of dulls the celebration. And it surely will now when the referee Kelly Sutherland makes the announcement.
Upon video review, the puck hits the crossbar, does not completely cross the goal line. No goal.
Yeah, they're upset here at First Niagara Center, but it's the right call.
No, you're right. It is the right call, and that's what you'd expect him. Here's Thomas, gets the puck up. It hits perfectly in the middle of the crossbar on the underside, across to the post, and then straight back across again towards Thomas. Came in from that side.
It had the chance of deflecting off two posts and going into the net, and neither one occurred. And behind the net, here's Stafford digging it free. Stafford trying to work it out in front. Chases after it again. Tosses it back into the corner. Rolled around on the boards and picked off and brought out to center ice by Higgins. Myers bumping in the corner with Hansen. Higgins takes it away. He gets nailed in there by Myers. It's fed in front of the net, knocked down, but not out. Ennis finally steers it over on the wing and gets it back again from Foligno onto Stafford. Stafford into Ennis. Ennis trying to get away on the wall. Into the corner it goes. Back to the point, and it went out to center ice. Weber is there to get it across to Ennis, and it bounced away from him. Leaves it for Ristolainen to Weber. And that one is fed in too far. It's an icing against Buffalo.
And you see Buffalo here trying to make that long lead pass, trying to catch the four checkers of Vancouver. Attacking at the blue line, so they want to take advantage of that neutral zone, try to spread it out a little bit. They got their forwards a little higher up towards the Vancouver's blue line, cutting across, trying to spring somebody.
Daniel Sedin goes to the corner, chases after it, took the shot, and Miller kicked it away. Rolled in behind the net to Enrique. He's tied up by Foligno. Left it to Kessler, slides it across ice. Stafford digs it free. Tapped it back into the corner. Shoveled ahead to Foligno, and he muscled it out to center on his way to the bench. Alberts. He cleared it in. That's going to make it over the icing line. The Canisius College Student Surge is brought to you by the Canisius Masters in Sports Administration. Find out more at canisius.edu. Larson to take the face off. Tried to kick it free, but it goes around behind the net, recovered by Tanev. He got it to the blue line, and it's chipped down the ice into the Buffalo end, and icing's been waved off. Now a long pass from Pezic up on the wing, helped in by Flynn. Luongo got it around into the corner, but it was taken out of the air with a high stick. No, they waved it off. Ehrhoff to Pezic. Up to Flynn, had some difficulty, can't get away. It's brought back in by Kashin. And another shot right on. Miller makes the save. Ehrhoff starts away. On to Pezic and up on the wing to Flynn. Flynn helps it in deep. Stanton chases after it, so does Flynn. And Stanton comes up with the puck. An ill-advised pass, but he got away with it, and it goes to Booth. Booth getting it over the line, puts on the brakes. Trying to get it by Myers, and Myers took it away from him. Slide it back along the boards and ends up behind the net on the stick of Tallinder. He rolled it to center ice, but it's gunned right back in again. Both teams are changing up. Almost 4 minutes into the third period. Tallinder gains center and backhands it in deep. Tanev banking it off the boards. Tallinder pinched to try and keep it in there. He does momentarily, but now it's flipped out to center. It's picked off and rifled right back in again. Bounced off into the corner and chopped off the boards to center ice. Weber for Ristolainen. Up to Ott. Ott's pass misses everybody, and it bounces off the goaltender. Cleared back through the middle, and chasing back after it, Ristolainen. Ristolainen around for Ott. Tried to give it to Hodgson. It jumped away from him. It's dribbled back in over the Buffalo line. Cleared on to center ice. Recovered by Bieksa. Stanton whips it the rest of the way in. Miller guides it back into the corner. Ehrhoff got it around on the boards, and it's picked up by Hodgson. Hodgson slides it in. Here's Stafford trying to cut to the net. Stafford coming up with the puck again. And then he loses it. And it's bounced off the boards and goes to center. Pezic chops it across ice to Ehrhoff, who got it up on the wing. In over the line comes Ennis, who slides it in. Around behind the net. Stafford takes out his man, and the Canucks pick it up and flip it all the way down the ice. For sure, an icing this time.
Yeah, the Sabres got to start cutting these walls off a little bit. Vancouver's just looking to get the puck out of their zone. They're not trying to do too much, but they got to win those battles on the wall. They got to have a man there because the D for Vancouver's wrapping it around, and too many times there's nobody there to try to catch it.
Myers charges up in the play, tried to come up with the puck, can't. It goes to the blue line and out. And it's taken right back in again by Scott. Scott gets bumped by Bieksa, and it's brought back by the Canucks. Myers breaks up that rush. Shove it on the boards, goes back into the corner. Dribbled around and taken away by Weiss. Fed back into the corner again. Grigorenko trying to get out of his own end with a pass up to Scott. Scott coming and takes the long shot that's right on and held by Luongo. Join members of the Buffalo Sabres for the Gold and Blue Star Military Family Tribute Walk this Sunday at 10 a.m. Proceeds from the walk will go towards the Iraq-Afghanistan Monument, which will be built in honor of the 64 Western New Yorkers who gave their lives for the country. Visit sabres.com/IM to register. Here's Flynn in the corner, but he cannot get away from Tanev. And so Hamhuis sends it to center ice. Brought in over the line and fired right on, and Miller makes the save on Santorelli's shots. 13:57 to go. Third period. Visiting Vancouver 2-0.
Our Labatt Blue Light player profile tonight. Tyler Ennis. Doing a nice job hanging on to the puck. That's exactly what they want him to do more here. Try to make things happen. Use his speed. Stop it and starting. And that's how he's going to be effective right here, throwing his body around a little bit, taking the puck to the net, taking shot, using the screen here, but going back for the rebound, going into the corners of the dirty areas, trying to find and make something to happen. But his line with Foligno and Stafford have once again done a decent job here tonight, creating opportunity.
Vancouver winning the draw across ice. Hamhuis' shot. Miller slapped it away, however. And up on the wing and steered on to center ice. Flynn trying to get away. He gets in over the line. He dropped it back to Porter. Porter wings it across ice. A bouncing puck came out over the line. Weber scoops it ahead. Flynn now across to Porter again. Porter will gun it in. Larson charges in there. Gets slowed down by Tanev. Bounced up in the air. Porter flipped it, but misplayed it, and it's brought on to center ice by Hansen. It gets it in over the line to Higgins, and that's way offside as Santorelli was about an acre and a half ahead of the play.
Now, once again, you're seeing Vancouver want to come with a ton of speed. They like winding up from their end all the way up through. Sabres doing a decent job standing on the line, preventing, not allowing just to gain that zone easy. They got pressure on them.
Pezic out of the cross ice. It's sent on out to center ice. Vanek tried to get away, couldn't. And it's banked off the boards and slapped back to Vanek again. Getting it over the line, but taken away. Now it comes back across ice again. Ehrhoff couldn't get there in time. Tosses it up on the wing. Ripped back in the other direction, off a leg, kept in by Buffalo. No, they're going to call it offside, and that went off a Vancouver player. And the Sabres are arguing about it, but it's, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't offside.
Man, they can argue too, and it's not going to change it.
No, it's not.
You know,
It's not.
it's just a little frustration there, you know, when nothing sometimes is working, it makes it a little more difficult.
See, it goes right off the Vancouver player and back into the zone, so it was not. But that doesn't matter. Drop the puck now. We continue on. And now play is called, and a penalty right off the get-go, and that's going to go to Vancouver.
Oh, maybe that's a little payback there for a tough call on the offside. Henrik Sedin's going to the box for tripping right off the draw. He catches the right leg of Cody Hodgson as he's trying to get through, pursuing the puck, and hauls him down.
And the Canucks are successful at sending it down the ice. Myers rips it around behind the net. Hodgson trying to dig it free, but it's flipped up in the air and ends up back at center. Pass to Hodgson. Swings it over on the wing. Ennis gains the line. Ennis charging into the corner. It's belted by Bieksa, not out of the zone. Ehrhoff keeping it in. To Hodgson, back to Ehrhoff. On to Hodgson. He cleared it in front. Vanek just failed to deflect it, and it ends up going all the way back down the ice. Ehrhoff attempting to pull free, being chased around, got it to center to Ennis. Ennis being hounded by Santorelli, got away from him. Ennis in over the line, on to Vanek. Vanek looks back to the point. Ennis cleared across ice to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff keeping it in. Ristolainen into the corner. Back to Ristolainen. Over to Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff takes his shot. That's grabbed and held by Luongo.
Now the Sabres moving the puck around well on this power play. Looking for that opportunity. Ristolainen turned up a couple of good opportunities on the point just to get the puck through to try to get it across to Ehrhoff with the big shot. Thomas Vanek's in the slot. Battling, doing what he needs to do. Luongo just gets himself in a position where he's able to see that puck and make the easy save.
A high stick caught Stafford. There's no penalty called. They're going to call it the extension of a hockey play. Now it's cleared over to Stafford again. Stafford holding it in. Back to the point it comes. Ristolainen to the other side. Into the slot. Foligno worked it back into the corner. And the Sabres are on the outside. And now Ott swings it all the way around to the boards. Ristolainen keeping it in. But it's picked off and gunned out to center. And the Canucks are back at full strength. Stafford gets checked. Brought back in by Vancouver. Left at the point. Henrik Sedin left it there out in front. And Henrik fanned on it. Now the pass comes to center. Too far for Foligno. He charges after it in the corner. And chipped it around behind the net with his teammates changing. Bieksa comes to center. He'll dump it in. Weber charging after it in the corner. He bumps along the boards. Kalinder reaching for it as well. But it goes to Daniel Sedin, who tried to stiff it in and it didn't work out. Miller was wise to the move. In behind the goal again. Vancouver keeping it alive in the Buffalo end. Came in front of the net. That's kicked away. Here's the rebound. They score. Stanton walking in and blasting it home for a 3-0 lead.
Well, Ryan Stan just kind of sneaks in from the point. There was a lot of activity down low in front of the net. And everybody got watching, and he just sort of sneaks into the opening from down low. The puck, they always look to try to make that pass from down low to the man in the slot right there. They did, but Higgins is tied up. And it comes right through to Stanton. You got Weber and Tallinder and Flynn all in front of the net. Along with Kessler, Brian Miller had no opportunity there to see that puck and make that save.
Puck cleared back into the Buffalo end. A little over halfway through the third period. Pezic high in the air to center, but Alberts knocks it down and brings it back in again. Off to Booth. His shot gets blocked, and that hurt. Pezic slow at getting up. Dribbled on in by Porter into the corner. Flipped around on the boards and brought back by David Booth in the other direction. Canucks are changing. Buffalo as well. Now Schrader gets in over the line. Drives it across ice. Cashin going after it. Long shot is shrugged to the side by Miller. Bounced up in the air. Ristolainen got it out of the zone to Hodgson. Hodgson rolls in over the line. Got hooked, and here's a penalty coming up here to Santorelli. 8:52 remaining in the third. When we come back, Buffalo goes to the power play, down 3-0. Karuba, collision of the game. Oh, you know what it is. Rasmus Ristolainen, and there goes Sestito. He was traded to Buffalo for about 6 or 7 seconds before he could get himself out of the Buffalo Sabres bench, make the right decision. Insist on Karuba Collision, the official collision repair centers of the Buffalo Sabres.
And here's the penalty. The Sabres are going on the power play. Going down the wall. Cody Hodgson working his way down through. Gets hooked up by Santorelli.
Dribbled around on the boards and kept in by Ehrhoff as he bumps along the wall with Tanev. They were trying to work it out in front. Hodgson digs it free. Back it comes down to Myers. Lets it go. Right on the rebound. They walk away at it, and Longo covers up.
Now Tyler Ennis had a good couple of real good opportunities whacking at that puck, trying to get it past Luongo. But a nice job by Tyler Myers, moving in, taking his ground, keeping the puck down where there's going to be a rebound. And Tyler Ennis is there for the opportunity. See him make that save. The puck stayed right there. He had 2 opportunities to put that in.
Bieksa got it around on the boards and all the way down the ice, and Myers chases back after it. Leaves it for Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff to center. On to Myers. Myers pulls away from Kessler. Works it back to Ehrhoff. Took his shot right on. Rebound! And it's knocked away in the corner and now picked up by Vancouver, but not out. Kept in there by Sabres Ennis. Back to Ehrhoff, into Ennis. Ennis keeps his feet moving, gets checked on the boards, battles for it again, loses it, and it's spun down the ice by Garrison. Miller is out to give it to Ehrhoff with a minute remaining in the penalty. Ehrhoff up on the wing to Ott. Ott rips it across ice for Ristolainen. He takes his shot. That's steered aside and slapped around on the boards. Ristolainen takes another shot that's kicked away by Luongo. Ott back to Ristolainen. On the other side of the ice, Weber, his shot doesn't get through, and it's going to be rolled out to center. Picked up and dribbled back in the other direction to Henrik Sedin. And he left it there, taken by his brother Daniel, who stumbles and trips over everything. And now it's cleared up on the wing, and Ott fires it in deep. Luongo traps it behind the net, dumped it behind the net, gave it away, the wrapper right on in front. And what an opportunity there for Foligno. With the goaltender out to lunch. Now Ristolainen with a shot, and Luongo knocked it away. Foligno trying to work it in front. Foligno sends it back, and the shot is right on by Stafford, and that one is held.
Now Marcus Foligno's coming off the ice, upset with himself, and this is why. Luongo misplays his puck. And Foligno's able to get it and wrap it around, but when he wrapped it around, he hit the post with it. Another inch, 2 inches at the most, that puck was in the back of the net. Does a nice job wrapping it around, but he hits the post.
Sabres have lost every battle with posts tonight, be they goal posts or crossbars. Banked off the boards and sent out to center, but kicked down by Weber, dribbled back in over the line and sent around behind the Vancouver net. Larson trying to battle for it, knocked away from him and flipped out to center by Sestito. Sestito after it again. Weber slowed him down. Kalinder trapped behind the net, jammed it free into the corner, hooks it around on the boards for Flynn. And Weber spins it around now on the wall, and the Sabres will get a chance to bring it out with a cross-ice pass to Flynn. He poked it ahead, but that's knocked down at the line and sent back out to center. Back for Ehrhoff. On to Pezic. Pezic rifles it in with 6 minutes to go here in the third. Flynn pinches, but the Canucks take advantage of it and bring it back. Coming in over the line, Schrader. Schrader backhanded it right through the goal crease. Tipped around into the corner. Cashin takes it away. Cashin dribbles it back to the point. Cleared into the slot area, recovered by Ott, but he doesn't get it out. Goes back to the boards. And he's jammed back into the corner. As it falls, it's rolled around behind the net. Canucks looking to try and work it out in front again, and taken away by Ott. Ott swings it on to center. And Hudson steers it over on the empty wing. Hit back to Hamhouse. He got it ahead. That'll deflect and go down the ice, and they'll bring it back on the icing.
Well, Mark Pezic is one of those guys having another quiet night. When it's quiet, that's great, because he just does his job, and he does it so smooth. He does all the little things right. You see him there blocking a shot. He goes down. He goes off the ice a little gingerly, but he came right back the next shift. But he's so calm under pressure. He gets the puck. He's making the right move, the right play, and he's in perfect position all the time. That young man's going to have an excellent NHL career ahead of him.
And the puck rolled around on the boards. It's kept in by Buffalo, in for Stafford. Got it in front of the net. Vanek comes up with it. He tried to tip it out in front. He's got it again. Vanek, back it comes. Ristolainen with a shot that gets blocked. Kept in, Ristolainen, another shot, and that one went off of Schrader and out of play. Well, less than 5 minutes to go. Third period, 3-0 Canucks. Well, one of Ryan Miller's 30 saves in this game was a big one on Yannick Hansen, who broke away from the blue line in and walked right in on goal, and Miller took advantage of Hansen getting his stick down and being bothered from behind to poke the puck away. The Toyota big save of the game. Face-off in Vancouver territory is recovered by Bieksa. And he'll get it out to center. Spun back, picked up by Stafford, who rifled it up on the wing. In over the line, Stafford carries on. Stafford in the corner, swings it free, sending it back to the point. Weber took a shot that went wide. Rebound. Off the boards for Stafford again, and it jumped away from him. Now the Canucks up to Higgins. He had the first goal of the game. Weber tipped it behind the net. Hansen racing after it, fed it across ice. Another shot. Karam's off the boards. Vanek tried to steal it back, but it's kept in. And Miller kicks it away. Canucks keeping it in the Buffalo end. Dished around behind the net for Santorelli. Santorelli wheels it back in the other direction. Try to get it out in front. Going after it in the corner, Kessler. Kessler still has it behind the net. Kessler deals himself up into the corner, took his shot, and that's going off the leg and out of play.
Well, Sabres 3:47 left here in this third period. They got to keep going. They got to make things happen. They got to get working. They got to. One shift here could make a big difference. Just get themselves going and get out there. Just continue to play.
The time is certainly of the essence now with 3:47 left on the clock. Puck rolls to the boards. Larson tipped it back in behind the net. Now fed ahead, off Flynn, up in the air, and Myers takes it away. Myers pulls away from Kessler. Myers coming to center with a cross ice pass. Jammed in over the line and sent in deep into the corner by Ennis. Fed around on the boards and out to center ice. Failing to get away for Vancouver. And tipped across to Stanton. Stanton picked it up in his skates, gets checked by Ennis coming in over the line. Ennis turning, looking for the trailer. It's intercepted, and it's tapped out to center. Tallinder working it across ice. Myers spins around, sends it off the boards. Tallinder helps him out. Tallinder ripped it all the way to center again for Ott coming off the bench. Ott kicks it free along the boards, trying to keep it in there, gets pinned against the wall, and that's where they're going to whistle it down.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tonight's Miller time is communication. You're seeing this all night long. When things are good, you're trying to learn, you're trying to get on the same page, you got to communicate, and they've done an awful lot of that here lately. They're working together, even the coaches on the bench. Every time guys are coming off, whether it's a young guy, a veteran like Drew Stafford right there, they're talking, they're communicating, they're letting each other know what's going on, what they need to do.
Pass off to Garrison. Garrison sends it away to center. And it's brought in over the line by Cashin. He'll spin it in, down low. In behind the net, tipped around on the boards for Ott. Ott ripped it across ice, but way too far for Vanek. And back it comes to Garrison. That'll be rolled on into the corner, and it's deflected. There's no icing. Hodgson takes it away. Vanek looks to bring it to center, and he got bothered from behind, and it's drifted right back in by Booth. Alberts at center gets checked. In comes Vanek. Vanek looking in front, took the shot and bounces wide of the net on the short side. And Alberts scoops it back inside the Buffalo line. Tipped over to Ristolainen. Ristolainen with a long pass that's bounced back in the other direction. And taken away to center by Richardson. He can't get away. Weber comes up with it with 90 seconds to go. Weber's pass on the wing. All the way to center. And into McCormick. McCormick shot, and it's cleared off into the corner before Grigorenko could get his stick on it. Back at the Buffalo blue line, recovered by Weber. He got it up on the wing. After cross ice, McCormick chasing after it. But the Canucks recovered. It's flipped high in the air and back to the Buffalo blue line. Myers recovering. Inside, a minute to go. On to Ennis. Ennis will punch it in. Foligno chasing after it in the corner. It jumped away from him. And it's scooped off the boards by Higgins to center ice. Swung in over the Buffalo line and called on the offside.
Well, John Tortorella just rolling the lines here, getting his guys out there, trying to get this game over with. Look down the Sabres bench here. There's a few heads hanging. They got to keep their heads up. They got to continue to work through all this kind of thing. They're going to have tough stretches. They got to find ways to get through them, but they got to try to stay positive along the way, too.
And that's not the easiest thing in the world, is it?
Nope.
Here's Stafford steering it on into the corner, chasing after a loose puck, keeping it alive. Stafford still fighting for it in the corner. Still controlling it with Alberts. He dumped it around on the boards, and Alberts kicks it free and sends it out to center ice where Myers breaks up the rush. Now Vancouver has it once again, and it's scooped by Hamhos in deep. Myers drifting it off into the corner, and it'll be fired out through center and down the ice, and that's going to do it.
Well, at night the Sabres weren't able to generate much offense, or any at all. They had some great opportunities, some close calls, but not able to finish. But once again, Ryan Miller stood tall in the net, gave them an opportunity once again.
Well, there has not been a poor Buffalo goaltending performance this year. The goaltenders have been excellent, but the goal scorers have got to pick up the pace, and that much is very evident. Let's go to Brian Duff.
Guys, thanks very much. Roberto Luongo now has 63 career shutouts, has 2 of those 63 against the Sabres. And with that, a clean sheet tonight as part of a 3-0 Vancouver win over Buffalo.